happen. Oh. Rob Tebbutt here for ID Boxing, and it is my pleasure to be joined by a man who I haven't seen an awful lot of lately, Joshua Buatsi. We are here in Joshua Buatsi territory in Croydon. Josh, you've got a big announcement today. We can see it behind you, looking all sharp on the BOXXER board. You have a new announcement. You're looking very sharp as well today.
Thank you, Rob. Thanks for coming down, man. You're right, we're in my hometown, Croydon, so familiar faces, people that I've known from little, they're here, people that are just joining onto the journey, so it's nice to actually announce it. It's very nice to announce it here.
You've got a big announcement. You've signed with BOXXER. You're back on Sky Sports. There's been an awful lot of kind of conversations and discussions around where Joshua Buatsi might lay his hat. You've decided BOXXER and Sky Sports is your new home. Why is that?
I think for the mere reason that Sky Sports, again, are the biggest platform. BOXXER, we have a promoter in Ben Shalom who's young, wants to do new things, try new things, new ideas, has great ideas. So I thought, you know what, let me go with someone that's fresh, new, has the energy and the passion, and he's showing it. So I felt it was the right partnership.
Now, you're a loyal guy. I've known you for a long time. I know you're a loyal guy. I can't have imagined that it was, I don't want to say necessarily easy to split from Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, but you were with them from your promotional debut. How did that kind of play out? How did you come to the decision that you wanted to potentially seek pastures new?
I think my contract came to an end. We entered a matching right period where they had to match an offer from a third party, which I gave in, and not all the points were matched, not all the materials were matched, and it's like, okay, you couldn't match it, no worries. I have to go somewhere else where there's an opportunity for me to be viewed by a lot more people in England. And the question I've asked everyone, Rob, is who has the biggest platform in the country? I'm asking, this is a question to you.
Sky Sports.
Okay, and as a fighter, as an athlete, as a performer, I want to be seen by the most people. So I said to myself, where should I be? Where should I be fighting? These fights that I'm going to have, where should it be? Sky Sports was the answer. Big up. They came and gave me a good offer that I couldn't refuse. And like I said, respectfully, I showed it to my previous promoters. They couldn't match everything, so it's like, all right, you couldn't match it. Thank you. It's been nice. Like you said, we worked together for 5 years or so, but it was time to move on.
You mentioned there about matching rights. I've seen quotes attributed to Eddie Hearn, of course, your former promoter, to say that he is willing to match the offer. But as far as you're concerned, it's a clean break, and this is where you're now going to be boxing.
Yeah, not every point was matched. If I've sent you a list, Rob, and I'm like, match all the above, and you've matched 1 of 6 or 2 of 10, you missed out the word all. Like, it's matching. It's a matching material. It's a material that you need to match. You don't pick what you want to match. I sent you the list. That's what you need to match, and that's what the third party that's what the third party, a position or team or whoever, was able to present to me that they can provide. So I laid it out to you, and you didn't match all of them. You can't match all of them. So it's quite straightforward. There's points to match. You matched 2 of the 10. How does that make sense? What's going on?
Everything all good between you and Eddie? No kind of hard feelings between you? You don't strike me as the type of person to hold a grudge?
Why? I've got a new deal here. I'm going to fight. My career is going to carry on. Why would I be holding a grudge with someone else?
We saw you doing the rounds a little bit. We saw you on BT Sport. I think that everybody's been kind of waiting to see where you laid your hat. Talk to us about, the conversations that you had over there. We saw Frank Warren come out and say about a possible fight with Anthony Yarde that now doesn't look likely to happen with you overhearing him on BT Sport. But you shopped around and spoke to various other promoters.
You have to, Rob. When you're out of contract, you can't just speak to one person. You need to see what's on the market. The thing is, as athletes, you see these promoters and everyone else on the other side, their life still goes on. We have one shot as the athlete, one shot. So you have to do what's best for you as the athlete. And it will be frowned upon by the promoters, by all the other people, it will be frowned upon, but you can't let that stop you from doing what you want to do. You can't let that stop you from doing what's best for you. Because when it's all said and done, can you sleep well at night? You probably can't, because you were listening to them. And guess what? They will be snoring in the night. They'll be enjoying the sleep knowing that they've got you in the bag. But for me, I'm like, no, I'm going to do what's best for me so that I can sleep well at night. So I shopped around, saw what offers were available, who could provide me with certain things that I needed, who could give me the most exposure, Sky Sports, okay, cool. We sat here, and although Frank Warren's saying, do you know what? There was a quote that I saw from him saying that he's disappointed about it because now the Yarde fight can't happen. It's like it wasn't a one-off fight that I said no to. The thing is, people need to understand there's so much more that comes with these offers that are presented to us as fighters. Recently, I read that I turned down $1 million to fight Bivol. It wasn't fight Bivol in a one-off fight for $1 million, yes or no, and I said no. There's so much more that came with it. So I said, you know what, that's not going to benefit me as an athlete. So I turned it down. I said no. And that's what people need to actually consider. Like, secondly, bro, let me tell you a point. If you worked for Sainsbury's and Tesco's bought you, who cares? You've moved to Tesco's. Your deal with Sainsbury's is over. You're at Tesco's. What is there to talk about? When you've shifted companies a few times, you know, has anyone come to say, they might out of interest say, Rob, why did you leave this guy? Why did you leave that guy? But it's not a big issue. You move on in life, things happen. So someone that I used to see at Sainsbury's, that's at Tesco's, I'm not going to spend the time at the till questioning them, doing all of that stuff. I'm going to buy my new products from their shop and carry on with my life.
We're going to try and get through this, getting tapped on the shoulder, not like the old days. Joshua, we had plenty of time. If you're the boss, you tell them. You mentioned there about the Dimitri Bivol fight. I wanted to kind of draw your attention to your trainer, Virgil Hunter, and some comments that he made recently about where he sees you in the kind of in the development stage of your career and whether you're ready for a world title. He's come out and said he was kind of misquoted, as you know what we're like, it happens. Where do you feel you are, and what do you feel, or what's kind of your response to Virgil's comments about you fighting for a world title?
Virgil's always said, if the opportunity came, we'll take it, we'll be ready for it. What he said was, we could have a couple of more fights before it comes, but that doesn't mean had the opportunity have come, we would say no to it. A trainer that wants the athlete to always develop and be in a position where when they win a title they can keep it, we'll always say 1 more fight, 2 more fight. But if the opportunity came, we weren't going to say no to it. We weren't going to turn it down. And that's the, I think, the confusion that has been made. Saying that, a couple more fights before that means he's not ready for it. No, if it came, we would have gotten myself ready, in shape, ready to fight for it. Previously, I've been promised that a lot of times. My last 2 fights, win it will happen, didn't happen. Win it will happen, it didn't happen. Losing purse bids, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, I think just because you say you want to have a few more fights doesn't mean if the opportunity came, you'd say no to it.
See behind you is 16-0. One of the things I saw when I walked up, I was like, he's not 16-0, he's 21-0, 22-0. And then I looked at your box rec. You've not really been boxing as actively as I know that you would want to. You're back on May the 6th. How important is it that you get that kind of run of consistency in your fights and you're back in the ring more regularly?
I think one of the main reasons why I'm also here as well is to keep active. I believe I can be kept active here by a BOXXER, but most importantly be on a nice platform such as Sky Sports. So I do want to be active. I want to fight, I want to keep my rankings, most importantly fight for a title and to win it, so being active is key.
Final couple of quick ones for you. I'm going to try and spit them out nice and quickly. Callum Smith and Artur Beterbiev, it seems like that fight is going to happen next for the WBC title. I know that you're not massively, big. I think they're all here for you, Josh. I know you're not massively interested in other fighters, but how would you see that fight playing out?
Smith and Beterbiev, I think I'd go with Smith. That's just, I'd go with Smith. Being asked like this, I'd say Smith. Again, not really focused on that as you said, but yeah, I'd say Smith.
I know you well enough to know by now it's pointless sitting here and asking you about a bunch of things. Final question, because I do appreciate you've got all sorts of things going on here. You're also, as well as a new promoter, you're now no longer with 258 Management, who also guided your career from your debut under the guidance of Anthony Joshua, and of course Will Harvey and Freddie Cunningham, etc. What was the situation there? And you know, again, similar question to the Matchroom question, a clean break, everything all amicable?
I asked you, Rob, before this interview to ask the curveballing questions, and you're doing it. But no, there's no animosity, no bad blood with 258. I just got to a point where I wanted to be self-managed, to look after my own affairs, to understand what's going on about myself, rather than someone saying, oh, this is what's happening on your behalf. I don't like stuff like that. I just got to a point where I wanted to know these things for myself. So they're good people. They did me good while I was with them. And I still keep in touch with a few of them, but no bad blood there.
Okay, well, Joshua Buatsi, always a pleasure. Nice to see you looking so sharp, and I look forward to catching up with you soon.
Appreciate that, Rob. Thank you, man.